Lately, there have been more and more newspaper articles and TV documentaries discussing bipolar disorder. Most recently, the connection between this would be the story about Britney Spears, the singer, and people thinking perhaps she is diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Here at ASC, we don't believe in labeling, but I'd like to clarify that some people have had the wrong idea of what it means to have bipolar disorder. So to clarify, bipolar disorder in a basic way is defined as mood swings. Each one of us have experienced mood swings throughout our life, perhaps through frustration, sadness, ups and downs. On the other hand, bipolar disorder is much more serious, severe variations of people's moods. So clearly there is a difference between bipolar disorder and these everyday mood swings we all experience. It's not something that people can control simply by trying harder to control the way that they feel. It's really a shift in the chemical balance. It's a chemical disorder. Therefore, it's not that person's responsibility to control their own actions based on the fact that they simply can't. This is a very serious medical condition with everyday mood swings. Years ago, bipolar disorder used to be called Manic Depression because bipolar is indeed made up of two different parts, manic and depression. The word manic is the high one feels at this specific time when their mood is up and they've got all of these sporadic ideas. At this point, people are feeling a type of high. They have all this energy, they're keeping busy, they don't know what to do to keep themselves occupied. Sometimes this can give people a feel of empowerment. They've got all these ideas rushing through their heads. They feel like they have superpowers. This could be a time where people make impulsive decisions and they feel like they can't think things through thoroughly. Many people have experienced times where their impulsions have made them start gambling, have sex with multiple partners, go on shopping sprees and charge ridiculous amounts of things. Now that we have discussed the high, or the mania, we're going to discuss the low, which is the depression. Depression and bipolar look the same. People have trouble sleeping, they're depressed, they feel sad, lousy. Sometimes people can't sleep, and sometimes, on the other hand, people sleep too much. Or another way of putting this is they eat a lot when they're not hungry, or they're hungry but they feel like they can't eat. Sometimes it's hard to focus for people, and they can't enjoy everyday activities that they once found pleasurable. Sometimes people suffering with depression or bipolar depression have also experienced ideas of death and wanting to die. Yes, bipolar is linked with depression, but sometimes people that do not have depression and only have sometimes people that do not have bipolar disorder but are only suffering from depression feel that their mood swings are more severe and they feel worse. The reason people suffering with depression and not just bipolar disorder feel this way is because they'll have a steady high. They're feeling good for a long period of time. And then suddenly, without any warning, their mood switches and it's down and it's down. And I can understand why that would be hard and feel worse for those people. The suicide rate definitely increases for people suffering with bipolar depression. 1 in every 5 people that does not take their medication who have bipolar disorder will commit suicide. How much time do people experience between mood swings that are suffering from bipolar disorder? It's different among many different people. Perhaps every 1 through 5 people have the same feelings? No, it's all different. Sometimes people experiencing the mania portion of bipolar or the manic, the high, it could last anywhere between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. And on the downside, people could feel that way for 1, 2, 3 weeks, 2 2, 3, 4, 5 months. They could be feeling fine for a period of time, and then as weeks or months goes by, they start going down again. Young children, youth, and teenagers tend to experience more sporadic changes in mood. Sometimes there have been cases where young people have experienced fluctuations of moods multiple times in one day. This is also possible for adults. It's not always easy to recognize the signs of bipolar disorder. And why is this? Because people tend to self-medicate. They use alcohol, they use drugs to bring their symptoms down. Yes, these people may feel better for a short period of time, but it's not gotten any better. It's still just as bad. Bipolar disorder is a chemical imbalance in the brain. And we've discussed this, but we now have to address the fact that there is no cure for this condition. However, people can control their bipolar disorder. This doesn't mean that they can't go on to live their lives. People who have had this condition have gone on to live very successful lives. People who have bipolar disorder, simply by taking their medication, that's one step that can help them control this condition. It's important that these people meet with psychiatrists and doctors and regularly take their medication so that they can find a correct way that works best for them to control their condition. It's really important that people with bipolar disorder recognize even the smallest ways to improve their condition by eating right, exercising, and getting a good night's rest. These are all ways that someone can help control bipolar disorder. It's really important for people suffering with bipolar disorder to reach out to family and friends for support. Yes, it can be difficult for these people to tap others on the shoulder and ask, hey, would you mind listening to me for a little while? Can I talk to you about something? But they have to understand that without this support, without having someone to lean on, it won't be as easy to manage their disorder. Especially in the beginning of people recognizing the signs that they could have bipolar disorder, it's important that family and friends show their support and let that person know that they're there for them. Even meeting as little as once a week can show that person that you care and that you're shoulder to lean on. People with bipolar disorder also need to know how to recognize triggers. Perhaps they're having problems with a relationship, planning. These can all be reasons that someone's bipolar disorder can be heightened and their mood swings begin. Movies have shown people suffering with bipolar disorder as being uncontrollable, angry, violent. These are all exaggerations to make the story more interesting. Really, people with bipolar disorder do not all act this way. Famous people throughout history have had bipolar disorder, such as President Roosevelt, the actor Robin Williams, and actress Patty Duke. This just shows that people with bipolar disorder don't have to limit their life. They can go on to lead great, wonderful, open, experienced lives.